Hey, Shalawam, Shalawam. This is a Nation 12 Talk interview with three brothers. We got Yasha on the right to me. We got Michael on the bottom, just below me. And we got Rodney just below Yasha. So this interview is basically going to be talking about Michael and Yasha were in a room in the Clubhouse app the other day. And what was the name of the room?
Man, I forgot exactly what I had called. I called it Jewish people, Israelites. Israelites cannot be anti-Semitic and do not want your ID or identity.
Right. I think that's exactly what it was. And that was the brother Michael's. He created that room in the Clubhouse app. And so we want to discuss the matter of what happened in that room, the dialogue. From my understanding, one of the brothers told me that it was kind of a mind-blowing experience, taking in consideration what I don't know how to address. So how should we address Israelis?
They like to be called Jewish people, Jews or Jewish people, or Israelis if they stay in the country of Israel.
Right.
That's true.
So what happened in
if they stay in the country? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Michael. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying if they live in Israel in the country of Israel, then they're Israeli. But as a ethno-religious group, they call themselves Israel. They call themselves Jewish or Jews.
All right. So let's get to it. So these Jewish people were into the room of Michael and they dialogue. So Michael, why don't you go first? Why don't you elaborate on the conversation?
Well, as far as the conversation went, it went well to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, because the two of them that came in at the start, two Jewish men came in and they dialogue, and I expressed how I felt. You know what I'm saying? Based off the title, I broke it down based off the title that us as Hebrew Israelites, I had three main things that I felt like was that was a concern or was causing a lot of tension, that was really misunderstanding what was going on between the two communities. And it was the number one thing was for me, we have a most, and I was just speaking for, I think I speak for most Hebrew Israelites, Israelites in general, from all the tribes, that we don't subscribe to being called black. Anything black Hebrew Israelite, the prefix or the word black or term black in front of Hebrew Israelite is not proper or accurate depiction of who we are as a nationality. It should not be attached to our nationality. The term black in front of Hebrew Israelite, we don't subscribe to being black in any way outside of just as a description of most of our so-called being melaninated because of our skin complexion, but as a nationality or anything like that, or in front of the name or in front of the nationality Hebrew Israelite, we don't like to be called black Hebrew Israelite, just like they don't want to be called white Jews or white Jewish people or whatever, just like because they say that they are non-white. Based off of what the thing was going on, because all of this stemmed from the Whoopi Goldberg incident or whatever. So the Whoopi Goldberg said that it was about race because of it was two white people, different white people groups that were going against each other, and they was a lot of Jewish people was like, nah, we are not white or non-white. So just like we don't want to be classified as, just like they don't want to be classified as being called white, I was saying that most of us as Hebrew Israelites do not subscribe to being black or called black. That was my number one thing. My number two thing was, that as far as us being Hebrews and us being so-called blacks and so-called Negroes, that the so-called Negro is just the fact that the so-called Negro and the so-called blacks are a part of the son of Shem, from Noah, and by us being from Shem, and they are claiming to be Shem or saying they are from Shem as well, then we cannot be anti-Semitic. Can't be anti-Semitic and be Semitic at the same time. It just doesn't make sense. So I was saying that we don't like to be thrown into that box of just because we don't agree on certain things as being anti-Semitic, because we are Semitic as well. That was my number two thing that I was addressing. Number three thing was that we don't want their identity, because it's a difference between us as claiming to be Hebrew Israelites through nationality and them being claiming to be Jew or Jewish or Israeli because of their ethno religious classification. That's what they call it, an ethno religious race, or because it's due to religion, because they are religious converts. They've been, their ancestors converted to our culture and called it Judaism like over 2000, around 2000 or over 2000 years ago, and they've been practicing our culture under the religious title of Judaism. And so by it being called that, they've been practicing that since for that. And so that's the ethno-religious group. We are claiming Israelite, which is the difference between Israeli and Israelite. And Israeli, if you look in the dictionary, means a modern inhabitant of Israel. If you look up Israelite in the dictionary, it says a descendants of the ancient peoples of the land of Israel. So we are descendants from the ancient people, because the ancient people are highly melanated people for eons. You know what I'm saying? So way beyond 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago, going all the way back past 6,000 years ago, the peoples that was in those regions were highly melanated people. So we are descendants of the highly melanated original people of those lands. And so that's what makes us different from them, because they are religious converts through mixing of the Edomites and other Israelite northern tribes and all of that type of stuff through the captivity and stuff like that. So they are like I said, ethno-religious group, and so it's the difference between religion and nationality. We're not claiming to be called Jew. Can you still hear me? Can you still hear me? Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
I can
No, I
hear
had
you.
cut
I
off
can
it because they said recording in progress again. It said it again. So but yeah, as far as that, it kind of threw me off. But we don't want to be, we're us Hebrew Israelites, we're not trying to be or be called Jewish people, trying to be called Jew, or we're not trying to be called Israeli. We just are claiming our or waking up to and claiming our rightful nationality, which is Hebrew Israelite. And that's what I said to them. And the two Jewish gentlemen that came in, they agreed. They didn't have an issue with that. They understood. One left in peace. The other one stayed the whole night in dialogue with us the whole night. Now we had a couple of other Hebrews that came in with some more I would say, I don't want to say extreme, but they just their delivery was more wasn't as direct and they a little bit more harsh, you would say, or whatever, just a little bit more talking at him versus speaking to him like a man, like if you was to speak to a man in person, you know what I'm saying? So
It
he
wasn't
they
edifying.
kind of got into little arguments. Huh?
Right. So the conversation, so when those brothers came in, they weren't trying to edify. They were just trying to argue and debate. Is that how the case was?
Yeah, they was just accusing him, like throwing him in a box in general, like it's, your people, how when you talk about your people this, your people that, your people like that, and making him feel, like as if like, he has to represent for his whole people. You see what I'm saying? For the whole Jewish community. And they're,
Exactly.
just to be fair, just like we got divisions in our community and different beliefs and stuff like that. It's not fair to throw us all in one box. It's not fair to throw them all in one box. So, you know what I'm saying? He couldn't say that he spoke for everybody in the Jewish community, but he understood where I was coming from in my sentiments. And then, from what I opened the group for, other people, other Israelites came in a group, for their, for other reasons to open up different dialogue, basically to educate him on basically that the Jewish people had a hand in our slavery, which is a fact. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And he said he didn't really know that. So what I found out was from his end was what we found out. And the brother Gadar, he can pretty much verify this. Like they really, what the problem is that their leaders in the Jewish community, they're not teaching them the history. They only teaching them the history from the Holocaust and to recent days. They're not really teaching them the history of how their people came to be Jewish or whatever. They're not telling the complete truth, just like preachers and church, in the churches and religion and Christianity and the Black community don't teach our people the truth about our history and stuff and about the Bible. So they're just going based off of doctrines that are just just going off of what they're being told without study. And so that's the issue. Was really I nailed that down. And then also the second part of the issue, which we were talking to him about, what we found out is that that they have the reason why they're so afraid and they're pushing this anti-Semitism thing so bad is that they have a saying called never again. You know what I'm saying? Basically, and they never again want to be treated like or be in a Holocaust position again. And so they go so hard on that fear, basically. So any type of propaganda that's being spread that makes people seem like they're going to start hating Jewish people again on a worldly or national level or whatever, or American
world level,
right on. Yeah, so that's why they try to cut off all the propaganda and all of that so fast off of media and stuff like that, when anything that seems like it will get that ball rolling in that direction based off of their own fear of their mind, that's why they do the things, or they move the way they do when it comes to the media and all of that, especially pertaining to anything that's they call or deem anti-Semitic. And so it's based off the fear of there being another Holocaust, and stirred up by any type of propaganda that's so-called against, they think that's against their people, whether or not it's fact or fiction. You know what I'm saying? So and that's pretty much what I gained from the whole thing. It was edifying to me. I think it was edifying to the Jewish person. A couple of other Jewish people came in. I did get a threat on there.
Is that right?
Yeah, but some woman came on there saying her husband was a Jewish guy and everything like that, and she didn't quite understand. I was just like, why are you on here if you don't understand? I said, put your husband on. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. But she was just like, you do understand this is putting a big target on your back. Like, so that sounds like a threat to me. But you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I worship Yahweh, man. I worship YHWH, the creator of all universes, and I ain't afraid of none of that. So, you know what I mean? I just kicked her to the gulag. I kicked it to the goulash and it was like, yo, you can get out of here with that. So, but yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? Y'all can ask me any questions, and I know
the brother Goel, he I'm gonna bring him in on conversation real quick. But real quick, Why do you think that is? That they're what did you refer to? They have this saying amongst them. It's called never again, right?
Yeah, that's what they
But
said.
why do you think they have that saying amongst them? You think, just like you said, it is a kind of a programming method, a psychological method to keep their people in that fear so that they don't ask questions, or when us Hebrew Israelites speak out about this is who they're claiming our identity. This is who we are. We are the true Jews of Israel, and so on and so forth. When they hear the things of that nature, do you think that comes into play because of their never again slogan?
Yeah, I think that because like they identify that as trying to take their identity as far as, and so yeah, they definitely operating off that fear, and I think it is that fear that's keeping them in not to ask any other questions or not to even think back further than the Holocaust or whatever like that. But I think that our people, we need to get our terms straight. You know what I'm saying? As far as educating ourselves, that's why I think it's important for our ancestors or for our people, as we wake up into this truth, we have to get the whole truth of what's going on as far as terms and etymology of words are concerned. Because for us to say that we are the real Jews, you know what I'm saying? Jew is not a Hebrew term. That is not a term that we created. That's a term that they created. So we should let them have that. And that's how I think, you know what I'm saying? Because I know for a fact that I know that, there's no J in the Hebrew alphabet at all, period. Most of us that studies our language, we know that there's no letter J in the Hebrew alphabet. So there's no Judah, there's no Jeremiah, there's, you know what I'm saying? We're not Jewish, we're not Jew. You know what I'm saying? We're Yahuda, you know what I mean, from the tribe of Yahuda, or that if you claim that tribe, so Yahuda was turned into Judah, and then that's where the term Jew and then Jewish comes from. But we aren't those other terms that start with a J. So if they want those terms, they let them have those terms. We should return to our original understanding, our own language. So that's why I'm saying we have to be, I think that we should be, like, I mean, I don't want to say be careful about using. I think you just should be just more intellectual and more educated on understanding the terminology that we use. And so when we say we are the true Jews, you know what I'm saying? That's to them, they feel like we're trying to take away from them their identity of being Jew and Jewish, you know what I mean? Because they are the ones that actually, pretty much created those terms. So let them have those terms, you know what I'm saying? We are Yahuda. They can't have that. That's a fact. We are Yahuda. That's a fact. We are the Hebrew Israelites. That's who we are. They came up with the term Israeli. We aren't Israelis, so we are Israelites. So they can't take Israelite, and you know what I mean, but they can have Israeli. I'm not a true Israeli. That's just like us saying we're the true Israelis. We're not. You know what I'm saying? They came up with that term. That's their term.
Right. I want to go back what you said earlier, and I want to thank you for bringing out that excellent point that we are the mislabeling of our people when they refer to us as Black Hebrew Israelites. Yes, you're correct. We are not Black Hebrew Israelites. I don't know where that terminology came from. I've been told that it came from the media. So be it. But our people have a bad habit of embracing that mislabeling and supporting it, and to addition to it, using it. Mm-hmm. So I thank you, both, for bringing that point up, and
that leaves and to me that leaves out your tribes, the brown tribes. You know what I'm saying? Just to be honest, you know what I'm saying? You come from the brown family, brown side of the family, so you're not a Black Hebrew. Wouldn't be considered a Black Hebrew Israelite because of your your Mexican or Aztec, Mayan, Incan descent. You know what I'm saying? On that side of the coin of being an Israelite. So you know what I mean? It's like I said, it's just incorrect to even put Black or even brown, even if you want to put brown, any type of color in front of
Exactly.
Hebrew Israelite. We're just the Hebrew Israelites.
Exactly. Exactly. There ain't nowhere in the scriptures where you read Black Hebrew Israelites. Yes, there are a couple of our ancestors who describe themselves as being dark skinned, but when the Most High referred to his nation, there was never Black Hebrew Israelites. I want you to, no, it was all Hear, O Israel, addressing the whole nation.
That's right.
All 12 tribes. So yes, once again, thank you for bringing that out and clarifying that. And go ahead.
Praise Yahweh.
You're throwing me off with that name because I refer to you as Goel, but Yasharahla. Go ahead, elaborate on your experience in that room, and then Rodney, I'm gonna bring you in after because I know you were not in that room. You're not a witness to that room. Only Michael and El Yashab and Yah are the only two witnesses that were in that room. That's why I brought him in this interview, and I thought that this interview would be very productive and very fruitful for the nation to be aware of this information of the reaction from the Israelis or the Jewish people of the Hebrew Israelites. So I will bring you in after that, and you can elaborate because I know you were saying that you have knowledge on the situation on the matter, but from a different situation point of view. So go ahead, Yasha. Go ahead, speak on it.
Well, when I was in that room, one of the things like Mikhail was saying, yeah, people did try to actually kind of gang up on the man, but and he didn't speak for everyone, but I did specifically ask him since he said, I mean, they had rabbis and whatnot. So I asked him specifically, what do his rabbis or their teachers and their leaders, well, what do they think about, or what do they teach about Obadiah? All right. And he said he hasn't heard of Obadiah. All right. And that was just totally kind of devastating for me when I was in the room. I was like, oh, wow, this is amazing. Okay, because I didn't really know that they could claim, because he was claiming also that people was the chosen people, the Israelis. Okay. And seeing that part of that never again, and saying that you would not want this to happen again, but it's God's chosen people, and this is not to happen to God's chosen people. You don't mess with God's chosen people. That's what he was saying. And so I was looking at that and then saying, well, how can you be God's chosen people and laying claim, okay, when yet you don't even have the script, you're not reading the scriptures. You don't even know about Obadiah. It's like there's whole books missing, even from their leadership and teaching. All right. I don't see them teaching Torah, you know what I mean? So that is one of the greatest and biggest problems when it comes to people's perception of who they are according to the scriptures.
Hey, didn't they say in the room that, I don't mean to interrupt you, Yasha, but did they say in the room, and correct me if I'm wrong, did they say in the room that they don't even read from the scriptures?
Well, yeah, kind of, yeah, basically it's like, yeah, for the most part, no, they don't even read from the scriptures. And or in so far as really even referring to it. And so that was one of the things that kind of was an eye opener, put it like that, when it comes to their people and their leaders, and even the way why they perpetuate that they're the chosen people, and that ID, our identification. Also, I was looking at that never again thing, as in that was a saying. He said a saying, but he couldn't remember what it was. But it
was that part
like,
of the saying? Never again. Was that just part of it, or was
that's what it meant? That's what it meant. That's what it meant.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right, and all this was to commemorate the Holocaust, and so this is like the whole motivation in stopping other people and using their money and all this to stop other people from rising up. In other words, the guy was talking about like another Hitler or some a Hitlerist type person. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And one of the things is, I mean, while we was talking on that, I was thinking that, I mean, dang, well, look at the people rising up now when I was talking about the leaders. Now, I mean, but one of the things, I mean, and they're like mandates and saying what they want people to have to do. All right.
Okay.
And so I was thinking, well, why they're not looking at those people? Because again, it's not us who did the Holocaust.
Right.
Anyway.
Right. And then you also, we were talking about this another day, but you also, I don't know if it was you or Michael who brought up that it wasn't us that did the Holocaust. We're not the ones who are creating bombs, starting wars, and so on and so forth. Am I right? Was that you or was that Michael?
That was me. I was saying we're not the ones creating. We're not the ones creating all this stuff. We're not the brutish. Okay. If you go and look at the nation as a whole, we are the ones who is actually doing the agriculture, doing the horticulture, doing the permaculture. Why, when Yehuda was taken over here, okay, in Americas, okay, why were we the ones doing the agriculture, because we're the ones who knew about it. Yes, we're the ones who had that knowledge. And Israel, they actually do have that knowledge, and we do have knowledge of the agriculture, the horticulture, and all those things. And the thing is, even now, I was looking to get us more aware of one another, especially those who are actually growing things and actually producing and manufacturing things. But going back to what we was talking about in the room, and being a not being the type to actually say you're against Jewish people. We're not against Jewish people. All right. We're not for another Holocaust or this and that, but they need to know the scriptures and then know why, hey, their own people may rise up against them because they've been lied to. All right. Like, they're not reading the scriptures. If they read the book of Obadiah, maybe they will understand where they are in the scriptures and who they are.
Right. And I got that very interesting too when you told me yesterday that when you asked the question, well, what does the book of Obadiah say? And then he was like, what is that? Like,
that's exactly what he said. He hasn't even heard of Obadiah.
Yeah.
So and there is whole books that is
they barely study the Torah. That's what they say too. They don't even.
Yeah, absolutely.
The only thing they do is do Hanukkah and Passover and whatever else feasts. You know what I'm saying that they do. They don't. But they only doing the rituals. They don't understand. They not reading the books. They not reading it.
Right. Exactly. That's an excellent word. That's an excellent adjective to use. The rituals.
Yeah, they just doing the rituals. They don't understand the culture because like I said, they're an ethno-religious group. They've been converted through religion. They don't understand the culture.
Right. So yeah, it was for me too. It was mind blowing when you shared that information with me, Goel or Yasha, and wow. But yeah, how you were saying or telling the gentleman that we're the peaceful people. Yeah, you got some of us who are out there, and once again, we got to understand though. You brothers only spoke to what? How many people? How many Israelis or Jewish people stepped into the room? 1, 2, 3.
It was like 4 maybe. Yeah, like 4. I would
3
say
or
it was
4?
like 4. Yeah, because
Okay.
I couldn't. It was the one guy, then there was another guy, then he left, and then I kicked that one lady down to the goo. So that would have made 3, and then it was then you had the other guy that came from the other dude. He was cool, but he said had Israel. He said he had Israelite. He said he had Israelite blood too, you know what I'm saying, even though he was Jewish, the last guy that came in there. I'm just in it because I don't want to say their names or whatever, give them respect for that, but yeah, like it was I would say it was like, and then it was that other guy that came in there too. Remember the other guy? He was so that would have made what, like 1 2 3
5?
4, what I say, hold on, 1 2 3, and then yeah 5. So yeah, 5. It was just 5.
About 5.
5.
Yeah, so we gotta take in consideration. We gotta take into consideration that those 5 guys, they may come. Well, this is a world platform, so then they were coming from all corners of the earth. So maybe I should not even say this, but what I was gonna say is we cannot take what those 5 people or Jewish people said cannot really represent all of their people, because maybe that there's some synagogues or that they have that they do go into the scriptures and they do read from their books, and they do know what the book of Obadiah is. So I don't know if we could, we can't really, like, they can't mislabel us as saying all of you guys are radicals, and just like they do, we can't say that for them as the same. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, I just wanted to bring that point out. Go ahead, Yasha. You want to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say to that. Well, I'm not gonna say that other leaders don't know about Obadiah or nothing like that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they most likely have known about it. That's why they're not reading it.
Exactly. Excellent point.
You know,
Yeah, that's
absolutely, absolutely.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that's fact.
All right. So you want to add anything else, Yasha? Or if not, I'm gonna bring Rodney. Rodney, you don't even have to mute your mic. You could jump on the conversation. You see other brothers jumping in on the conversation.
Okay, but I just want to be respectful, but
I hear you. I hear you.
I think it's to me, I think it's pretty odd that whenever they make an argument against us being the people, the main thing they say is that we don't keep the customs or the traditions.
Hey, Rodney, are you on speakerphone?
You can't hear me?
I can hear you, but I just want to make sure that the recording picks up your voice, and when this interview is published.
I got headphones on. Do I need to cut them off? Or?
No, that's better. We can hear you better.
Okay, but like I was saying, I think it's pretty odd that one of the arguments that they have against us is that we don't keep any of the traditions or the customs, and then they don't really know nothing about none. They don't sound like they don't know anything about the old, like you said, past 1948, right? So like the brother said, for them not to even know really about the book of Obadiah, it's showing you that they basically mostly study out of the Talmud and the letters from their rabbis. They don't, like my man said, they don't really study the Torah like that. And
absolutely.
I also thought it was odd that it would say something like never again, but then tell us to forget about what happened to us. That's a little bit odd.
Absolutely.
It's a little bit hypocritical.
Right. I mean, you want us to forget, but never forget for y'all. I mean, to me, that's almost lining us up for it to happen again. Because if you don't know what happened in the past, it's destined to happen again in the future. So, if anything, we need to be remembering that, just like them. Because actually, our Holocaust was a lot bigger. And I'm gonna be quiet.
Yeah, I wanted to say, actually in that room, I said that to him, and I was the one who brought up the point that he actually said that never again in that little phrase in, I don't know, the kind of Hebrew that he speak. And so I actually said, you said the phrase. I said, what was that phrase? I said, what did it mean? You said it never again. And so he brought it back and he talked about it, even looked it up. And so it is a thing so that you can remember your history so that you don't repeat it and all this stuff. It is a thing like that. But the thing is this, I said to him also that, hey, now what do you think about us as in, you're calling us black people, because he was calling us black Hebrew Israelites and all this other stuff. I said, what do you think about us saying never again? We should, and he said he didn't know. Well, he said he thinks we should. And then he also said that, but he didn't know. He said they have museums to commemorate all their stuff. And he doesn't know about any of the stuff that happened to us so far as museums or anything. And I was like amazed at that as well. So
under a rock or what? Does that cat live under a rock or what?
I don't know, because we have all this stuff published. We have all this stuff published.
He must not have access to the internet or something. He must just discovered internet or something.
Talking about, no, he wasn't saying that our stuff isn't out there. He was just saying, as far as what I got out of what he was saying,
In the Matrix,
was that it's just not enough museums. They have a lot of museums that talk about what happened to them, but we don't have a lot of museums, like physical locations, like that commemorate what happened to us. It's just that new one that's recently that happened, that the one down there in Montgomery, right? That we just got, that down in Montgomery, like a museum location is concerned. I don't know any other than that either. So
no,
I thought he was kind of correct in that, saying that.
No.
But see, what I think is, I don't think that we need to be how can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No,
Oh, you saying telling me to? Oh, you saying? Oh, I thought you was going to say something or correct me on something. Am I wrong on that? Like, I was talking about that as far as physical, like museum type locations as far as the slave trade is concerned. Like, where do we have like those type of? I know that they got, the over there in West Africa. You got the West Africa over there, the castle that we went through. A lot of people's been visiting that on the west. Then you got the one in Montgomery. Where's we got other ones where they at, like museums.
We have plenty here.
Yeah, there's one
in the United States.
Yeah, there's one in Tennessee, in Memphis. My wife and I, we took a trip. We went to the what was it called? The Memphis in May. Went to Memphis in May concert a few years ago, and we visited the slave museum out there. So yes, there is one in Memphis.
Okay, yeah. See, I don't even know about them.
Yeah, you know what? I recommend Michael, go there. Go there.
A lot of it has to do with, if you want to see these things like this, it has to do with going back to those families, all right, from to the tribe of Yehuda, and they actually, a lot of them, they'll be like Choctaw, there'll be like different what they were calling Indians or whatever, but they actually was Israelites or Hebrews, and they actually, even in the slavery, but they have the records even on from the places, the same lands where their plantations was. I mean, this is like in the South, all right. And so, I mean, it's actually all, especially Mississippi and everywhere else.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Jump in, bro.
I'm from Wilmington, North Carolina, and I don't know if a lot of people know about the story of Wilmington, North Carolina. That's where the first slave massacre really happened. Where they overthrew the whole. It was a black government here, and they overthrew the whole government and killed up a lot of black people in Wilmington. It was in 1894, even before Black Wall Street. So, I mean, we have a lot of slave memorabilia down here. And even
Mhm.
up on a lot of the buildings downtown, they got tunnels that connect to the river where they used to bring the slaves through. So we got a lot of kind of like slave, memorabilia and museums and stuff like that around in our area in North Carolina too.
Well, what we're seeing from this, we should be on some okay, never again.
Right. That's the point I was making. Same lines of what they saying. Instead of let's forget it, get over it. How can we get past it? I mean, like in that room they had earlier today, I said in that room, I mean, how do you expect for people to heal from something when you won't even really acknowledge your sin of what you did? I mean, you can't get past it if you won't even acknowledge it. So,
Absolutely.
I just don't understand that.
Okay, and what about us talking about our Holocaust? Okay, and ongoing. All right, and so I mean, and now I wouldn't even say of just Black people, but how about Hebrews, Hebrew Israelites? Period. The whole nation. Okay, and then bringing it back to why and how we didn't have a repentant heart. And what do you mean by a repentant heart? Of the ways of the other nations by going and following after them and going into captivity. All right, so we, a real never again would it be to go to the Most High Yah and to follow his ways for his nation that he created as a people unto him.
No, I agree 100. I agree 100.
You know, and we should be talking about basically as in what they talked about, what a Holocaust was and how a people was being destroyed and why are we destroyed? What is this supposed to be? Oh, well, it's just sin. Is it the standard or the good of the other nations, or is it the standard of the Most High Yah? Is it his word? See, it's his word we're only be under. If we're the nation under him, not the rest of the other nations' word, there's no subrogation.
Right. Hey, Rodney, why don't you bring up the point how you were saying in that other room that their Holocaust was only for a few years, but ours been for hundreds of years.
To be honest with you, it's still ongoing. I mean,
Exactly.
it never stops. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and it's not gonna stop until Yahweh come back, and we know that. But I have read a scripture in that room, which is 1 Kings 8:47. Until we bethank ourselves and pray back towards our land and repent, it's gonna keep on. It's gonna keep on happening. That's the prayer.
That's right.
That's the prayer that Solomon. That's what Solomon said we needed to do in the land of our captivity. We got to bethank ourselves, pray back towards our land, and repent.
That's right.
And then that's the only way he's gonna come back and save us. We gotta turn back to him. That's the key.
Well, turning back to him is the salvation. And the thing is, a real repentance is the removing of all these other modes of operation that we've been subject to. Okay. So then stop doing that. And we need to do what our nation does. We need to do what he told us to do to be a nation unto him, because he gave us law, statutes, and commandments and precepts.
Yeah, that's
right.
a fact.
I
found it. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm multitasking. I'm trying to look for some pictures when we were at that museum, and I'm trying to share it with us. But go ahead.
Yeah, I found it disturbing to hear that one rabbi said, pertaining to that subject, as far as like trying to, whose captivity or was worse or whatever like that. And he basically was saying that their Holocaust is worse than ours, even though ours is ongoing. Theirs is worse for the simple reason that because Hitler tried to totally annihilate them as far as their exterminate their whole entire so-called race or whatever. And so that's what makes theirs worse, because although ours is ongoing, no one tried to absolutely annihilate our people. They just using us for as slaves, or as for free work and free labor. And
Well, they
that was
try to
their that was their
they-
justification on that. And it's weird. It's weird.
yeah. Well, they almost exterminated the majority of the northern tribe that was on this continent and this kingdom, to the point where they were almost exterminated, right or wrong. So they did. There was.
I mean, well, there's more of us than them. Like,
Right.
I mean, it was
Okay, I
far
got you.
way
You're
more
talking
of
about
us.
nation as a whole. You're right. You're talking about nation as a whole, correct?
Yeah, it's way more than
Okay.
us than it is them. And it was, but even though it was way more than us than it is them, it was still way more of us that was killed than they were killed too.
Facts.
So, they can estimate up to what, like 100, like 100 million of us.
They can't even count. They couldn't count how many.
Right.
We'll never know the truth to that. You understand?
Right.
We'll never.
And
So
then
how can you compare? And then let's go by number of years, right? Because that they Holocaust only lasted what, 10 years, if that.
I don't even know how long it's lasted. I know it
wasn't
wasn't
no
400 years.
It wasn't no. It ain't even close. You feel me? And like you said, I don't even really want to. I mean, and the crazy thing, like what we was talking about in that room, is that how they don't. I mean, you don't really fit the prophecies, right? Because the people, they got too much power. Because the real people of the Bible ain't supposed to have the power that they have. Because how can you just shut people with hundreds of millions of dollars down in 5 minutes and make them bow down like that? The real people of that book supposed to be in poverty and getting ran over, not being able to just shut people down. In the
Revelation 2:9 and Revelation 3:9 for sure.
Right. It just don't fit the prophet.
Right. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I believe you said it was their Holocaust from, what was it, 15 something to 18 something? Is that what it was? Nakar?
Oh, their Holocaust?
Yeah, because I remember it
I think
was
it was like
300.
what is it, Rodney? I think it's like 1939 to 45 or something like that.
Yeah, like something like that. The 15 whatever to 865, that's our Holocaust.
Right.
Compared to like what, 9 years, 8 years, something like. Come on, man. I mean.
That's definitely not theirs.
You gotta be honest. I mean, like I said, the power that he got. I mean, you can't say, nobody can say one thing wrong. I mean, you're talking about Nick Cannon and Whoopi Goldberg. These people got at least 100 million apiece. And you can just stop them in their tracks like that.
Man, Whoopi actually got Whoopi got money, man. People forget that, man. She constantly get them residual checks from the Color Purple, man. Like, yeah, I mean,
She got some paper.
She been out since, the same thing that got brought Oprah her money, based off the Color Purple. She getting big because she was the main star. Matter of fact, she was even more of a star. She was the main character on the Color Purple, not Oprah. Yeah, so you know what I mean. Whoopi ain't really got to work no more, if you ask me.
And even on that level, she was just saying, basically, that she was basically saying white people were killing white people. She wasn't saying, you know what I mean? And there was nothing wrong with that, because is that or is that not true?
It's true.
I mean, I would say I would say, as far as, I wouldn't say white, because they not, white is a made up term. Yeah, I'll just say Caucasoid, you know, yeah, Caucasian.
Right. Just, you know,
Yeah,
I just
so
said that just for the.
two different stocks of Caucasians.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. They're all in the same field, but just two different stocks. Right. So
Well,
she wouldn't. Go ahead.
my mama used to always tell me that people get madder about the truth than they do a lie. So that's why they got mad, because she told the truth.
Right.
They don't want to hear the truth. Who
Right.
wants to hear the truth?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, there's plenty of examples of that in the scriptures. You know what I mean? How many times have Christ spoke the truth and people ran away crying?
Right.
That's why they put him to death. That was one of the main reasons why. Well, not one of the main reasons, but you know, truth is to make you free if you're willing to accept it. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say that is one of the main reasons that Messiah or Hamashiach is rejected. All right, rejected because they don't want to hear the truth. They rejected the truth. They rather accept the lie. And even I would think that's what's going on throughout that community, because they rather perpetuate the lies and not let their younger generations, you know, find out the truth. Because if they find out the truth, then again, it's going to be like another Holocaust, because it's not us that's coming and doing the Holocaust. It's their own people. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. It'll be an uproar, because just think about, you know, like any riot that happened I'm going to just speak of the LA riots. Okay. So the LA riots that just happened, the last one, the truth of the matter was, we knew that those cops were dirty and they should have been sent to jail, but yet they weren't. That's the truth. And what happened? There was an uproar over it. So same situation, just different story. You know, the truth, when the people know the truth, and yet we're force-fed lies, and over time we get tired of eating that lie. What's bound to happen?
Revolution.
Exactly.
All right. Yeah. Things come around to a full circle.
Exactly.
They say the truth always gonna come around.
Exactly.
Just because
things always gonna come to the light. Anyway,
just because a revolution gonna happen, they thinking that hold on, y'all hear me? Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
My phone. Yeah. Just because it's a revolution don't mean it's gonna be another Holocaust. That's what, like I said, they just going off that fear. They taking it to the extreme. You know what I'm saying? A revolution can be peaceful. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. There's so many different ways. It's like different ways to have revolution. You know what I mean? But it don't have to be violent. It can be a peaceful one. You know what I'm saying? And I like, Yahweh said that we ain't gonna have to lift a finger. So if they don't get mad at us, because it ain't gonna come from us, we ain't gonna have to lift a finger. Like I said, they'll probably be more inclined to destroy themselves versus it being from us. Because I brought up another point to him and he couldn't even say nothing. Remember Yasha? I was like, man, I said, it's way more melanated people on the planet. It's way more melanated people than it is y'all. If you think that, I said, we get killed all the time in the streets by police officers. We get shot, you know what I mean? If we was wanted to rise up, we would have been did something by, you know what I'm saying? Like, we just a peaceful people in general. So you ain't got nothing really to worry about us. Talk about another Holocaust. We don't even got the resources to do that. So what are you talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he couldn't even say nothing. Like,
hey, 100. Hey, most def 100. Yes, you stay.
I was like, man, I was like, like melanated people outnumber white people in general on the whole planet. And we the ones that's being oppressed. Like, come on now, you know what I mean? If we was violent like they say they would have been off the planet. Like let's be 100. Like, you know what I mean?
No,
that's what I told him.
Right. You're exactly right. What are you gonna say, Rodney? Go ahead. You got the floor.
I say when you talking about population wise, it ain't even close. When you talk about numbers of melanated people against them.
Sands of the sea, stars of the heavens.
They had zero population growth as a whole. I mean, it's certain countries in Europe they'll give you a whole house if you have a kid, and they still can't have it. You feel me? I mean, the Bible is true, and like the brother said, we ain't gonna have to look for fame. When that time comes, they're gonna be asking the rocks to fall down on top of it. So
Absolutely.
Right. And then, like scripture says, there's a time and place for everything. Right now, it's not no time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but like we said right here, all we got to do is, I have a little saying. All we got to do is just sit back and eat our popcorn. Watch it all go down.
And what we got to do is, as a people, we need to prepare for rulership. We just got to get our righteousness together. You know what I'm saying? As a people, you know what I mean? We got to raise our character. We got to stop killing one another, get our economic situation straight to where we can start taking care of ourselves and start going to them, stop worrying about what, how they educating our children in their schools, and start opening up our own schools so we can educate our own children. We need to open up our own hospitals so we can stop where they can start killing our women in these hospitals. You know what I mean, with birth rate, and you know what I mean, through childbirth and all of that, where we can have a healthy environment for our women to be able to birth children, you know what I'm saying, our children in peace and in harmony in the correct way. You know what I mean? We just got to step up our game and become more of a righteous, moral people and focus on ourselves, and so that we can rule in righteousness, because to rule the planet, even if Yahweh handed over the kingdom to us today in the mindset we in, it'll still be hell on earth. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta basically focus on raising our moral mental mindsets, you know what I'm saying, so that we can rise to and be the the chosen, the way Yahweh wants us to be, you know what I'm saying, and have dominion of the planet like we originally had, you know what I'm saying, before all this started 6,000 years ago.
I agree.
Hey, bro, I ain't really trying to disagree with you, but Ezekiel 20:37 say that when Christ come back, he gonna have to purge out the rebels. So we still gonna have rebels around even when Christ get back, right? That's just throughout the scripture.
Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying.
No, I ain't just, and I'm not disagreeing with you either. I'm just saying that we are a stiff-necked people, man.
Right.
That's why these prophecies really keep happening over and over again, because we just not gonna listen. That's just our nature. The ones of us that got the truth, we gotta plant those seeds in those that will receive it, and hope that God, the Most High, give the increase. But as a whole, 2/3 of us ain't gonna make it, and that's what the book says.
This is true. Well, once again, I would say the 2/3 that's not gonna make it is because they haven't shifted their interests. They need to shift their interest from the other nations. This is this whole repent and stop going the same ways. All right. So you're gonna shift your interest, even in our spending. Even, we need to shift our interest into we spending money with us, okay, versus with with the other nations. And even, I mean, say you're an Israelite and in the captivity that you're in, because you're not in your land, okay, you're saying you're spending money with that nation versus with your nation. So I even got a directory that we're looking at, that we're putting together to make more awareness of our nation and to be building our nation. All right, so because we want to make awareness, and it's going to be more awareness as in our mode of operation, so far as in even our civics, like, okay, even in a diet, even in, I mean, we have businesses that promote our civics. All right. And so when we make it awareness, it makes it easier for us to be able to actually follow what our nation was told to do, our laws, our statutes, our commandments, our precepts, the things that we would do to be our nation, our customs, okay, our real customs. As you mentioned earlier, Mikhail, where they were saying that they said we're not the people because we don't do all the customs and that. We're spread out, we're not in our land. All right, so then again, for them, I mean, they try to make it impossible for us too. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I got a better reason. I got a better reason than that. Got to go to Psalms 83, like 1-7 is why we don't, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
What's going on with the
what's going on?
yeah.
So what I just want to kind of send this document because I just want to, what Michael was saying, that we need to have our own schools and doctors and all that jazz. So according to this, that's one of the reasons, and that's the same mentality for the 7-day fasting and prayer, the nationwide call for the 7-day fasting and prayer, April 1st to the 8th. So one of the reasons is because we don't need their money. We don't need their fake food, their fake and poisonous food. We do not need your so-called medicines. We do not need their doctors. We don't need their education system. We don't need their philosophy or ideology. We don't need them to rule over us any longer. So I'm in agreement with you when you speak those words, Michael, and that's one of the reasons. That's why it says at the top. It doesn't say the reasons, but that's a different right there. That's the reasons for the 7-day fast. But just what you said is the same mentality, the same spirit that our people need to adopt and recognize, because we don't need them. That's their way of life. Our way of life and their way of life, two different lifestyles. So that's one of the reasons. And if anybody who is going to watch this video, if you're in agreement and you're in the fear of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and you're in agreement of all these points being brought out here, then please comment below. I'll send you this online information, and join us in that 7-day fasting, April 1st to the 8th. But go ahead, Michael.
No, I was just saying that the reason why we don't know who we are, or we don't practice our customs anymore, is because we were cut off. That's Psalms 83. Psalms 83, 1-7. We were cut off from being a nation that we may not be no more in remembrance. The name, our culture, our God, we didn't remember it anymore. We were cut off from it. We weren't allowed to practice it anymore through slavery, through the captivity of the slave trade. This 400-year captivity is what cut us off from that. So that's the reason why we no longer were or we're just now waking up to practicing our culture once again after the 400 years. So yeah, like I said, our captivity is what's lining up with the prophecies of us, who we are. And all I was saying is, and I told him that too, I said, bro, we not denying that the Holocaust, because remember at one point he was just like, are y'all saying the Holocaust didn't exist or something like that, or whatever, or didn't have? And I was just like, no, we're saying it doesn't, it's not in the scriptures. That's what I said. I was like, it happened in history, but the Holocaust is not.
The same scriptures that they're supposed to be reading from too, right?
Yeah, like I'm like, yo, that's not it's not scripture that will happen to our people. It's what happened to us. You know what I'm saying? As far as, you know what I mean, the slave trade is what happened to us, not y'all's Holocaust. Is not I don't know where it's at in the scriptures, the Holocaust. So that's all I'm saying. Like, Yeah, it's not a part of your people, you know. I mean, it's not a part of our people because it didn't happen to us. It happened to y'all. And the whole Bible from Genesis to Revelations is about Hebrew Israelites, not about Jewish people. So
Right.
that's why it's not. That's why I
Absolutely.
would say it's
Right.
not in there. Yeah.
And we
So
were
that.
right, and we were transported on slave ships, not on trains, but on slave ships, and not in vehicles. You know what I mean? We were transported in slave ships. So that doesn't, even though that scripture doesn't align with the Holocaust. You know what I'm saying? Correct me if I'm wrong.
You right. But when they take us back, they're gonna take us back on every means of transportation known to the face of the earth. They're gonna Isaiah 66 said they're gonna bring us back on mules and leaders and every kind of way they can take us back. I ain't talking about 1948. We talking about what the scriptures say. We're gonna be gathered from everywhere on the face of this planet and taken back to our land. So
and remember,
go ahead, bro.
Go ahead, my bad.
Go ahead, bro.
No, you good.
Yeah. Like you said though, it don't fit the prophecy, and that's all I was about to say. Was it just not? It don't fit the prophecy.
Definitely.
Now I was gonna say, remember I asked him, Yasha, I said, you know, I got really one good last question for you too, right? Right. I was like, one last question, and I don't understand for the life of me this. I said, why, if America didn't have anything to do with the Holocaust, and it was Hitler and Germany, why is it that America is giving y'all reparations and they didn't have anything to do with it? They actually the ones that helped y'all get out of that. You know what I'm saying? Why are they paying reparations? And he was like, yeah, well, my uncle told me that it was because of America is just sympathy money.
Exactly.
Basically.
It's
They just
sympathy.
they feel sorry for us or whatever.
But
this,
no
that, and the
bread for
third.
us though. No
Right. And I was like,
bread for us.
no, I was like, that's interesting. I was like, that's mad interesting. Like, they ain't even do that to yeah, they ain't even do anything. America didn't do anything, but they're paying you guys. Like, and look, what make it so interesting, they're paying our tax money to them, like the tax money that we pay.
So we're really the one that gave them the money.
Right.
The Israelites, the Israelites paid the other nation who were trying to adopt our identity and our culture and say, oh, here, we're sorry. Here goes some money to make you happy or feel better about what happened to you. But yeah, we can get nothing, not even crumbs.
What I think happened is that they already knew who we were, and they wanted to steal the identity, okay, so far as with the sympathy, okay, and saying, hey, we are the ones, we're the chosen people, all right? And what that did was even a play on the other nations, all right, because you got people who they are the people, you know? And so playing on these other nations, you know, and other people's perceptions, all right, it's more like a great delusion. So, and the thing is, they're actually taking an interest. I mean, it was that shift of interest in the real chosen people according to the scriptures. All right. And they did this with propaganda. The same thing that they was fighting against, I guess. Even as you mentioned, Mikhail, that they, I think it was it Andy Warhol or something like that? But he was a propagandist. All right. And this is like art history and stuff like this. About and it was like about the soup can. All right. And just the labeling on the thing. All right. And this was in economics and the shift in interest. All right. And this is how they had all these nations getting and gaining sympathy for him and for them. And that was a shift of interest from us. All right. A shift of interest from us.
I got what you're saying. All right, so we're going about an hour into the interview right now. So I don't know if you guys want to close it up. You guys want to elaborate on some more matters?
I just want to say one thing. Like Michael said, Psalms 83 to a T. It fits that prophecy to a T. To hide who he is, and before we go, could I read that Psalm?
Oh, of course. Hey, by all means.
Go ahead.
I was about to go grab my scriptures right now. Go ahead.
Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gebal, Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. They have opened the children of Lot, Selah. So they just wanted to, that's what the Bible said it was going to do.
Hey, we should have opened up with that. Most definitely. We should have opened up with that.
Like I said, Mikael, that you right, man. That Psalms 83 to a T. And that's the good thing about it. We got prophecy on our side.
Right.
That's right.
And you can't deny that. And if you deny that, then you're just a liar or just as lost and blind as we were before we even became into this knowledge of who we are and our true identity and our true and one only God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Right.
So if there's nothing else other to be said, we're gonna wrap this interview up. But go ahead, let's does somebody want to readdress about the discussion here today? Michael,
I just want to praise Yahweh, man. You know, and I want to, you know, for everything that's going on right now, as far as the prophecies, he's doing everything as promised. So, man, HalleluYAH for that. You Wahe, all praise and glory go to him. Also, I want to appreciate you, in the car, man. You know, for the platform and doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all, you know what I mean? Appreciate you, Joshua, brother Rodney, man. Like, yo, I love y'all. I'm glad that we able to come together. What's up?
I just want to say, everybody call me Slick, man. So y'all can call me Slick. I mean, that's all I want to say.
Okay,
all right,
Slick, man.
All right.
Good. For sure. But yeah, I just, that's all I want, man. I appreciate y'all, man, and the discussion was beautiful. Man, like I said, man, and shalom and the niyahab.
Shalawam, bro.
Shalom.
Everybody stay on the platform. I'm just going to end the recording, but everybody stay on. We're going to chop it up for like 5 minutes. But go ahead, say your goodbyes.
All right, and I also want to say I appreciate you all as well. Also, Brother Mikael, I'm still looking forward to that room tonight. And also, it was the room on the study. Also, I want to say I appreciate everyone's efforts. All right, you know, to be on purpose. All right, to stick to purpose. I have a saying. It goes like this, you know, you should stick to your purpose and don't reason with it. All right. And so I think that's a great thing to be able to meet up with my brothers from our nation that actually is on purpose. and is willing to have this verbal transaction conversation.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hey, brothers, can I get a ping for that study that y'all got going on tonight? I like to be in the room.
Mikael.
Yeah. You follow me on Clubhouse?
See, I didn't even know nothing about it till I was in the room with Nicole the day, and he was talking about what happened with y'all guys. Like I said, I'm new to Clubhouse, so I don't really know a lot of people.
In order for me to be
okay, I'm listening.
Go ahead.
No,
I was just saying, in order for me to ping you, I had to follow you. You know what I'm saying? You had to I had to follow you, and you had to follow me. So if they follow you, then they can ping you in. They can ping you in for sure.
Okay, I just want.
Yeah. You know what I'll do if you guys, if brothers don't mind, I'll share Mikael. I'll show your email with Slick, and then I'll do the same with you, Slick. Is that cool or what?
Yeah, I don't mind, bro. Because like I said, I like the way this conversation is going, because I think it's something that's fruitful. It's something that nation building, man. That's something that we need to be doing. We need to be focused on that. So I'm good with that, bro. As long as it's Mikael good with that, I'm good with it too.
All right. That's what this platform is for. This is what Nation 12 Talk is all about. It's about to bring matters to the nation that the nation should be aware of. And I think this topic of how the Israelis and the Jewish people perceive us, and a little bit of their background from a firsthand experience is very vital to the nation. So hopefully that our nation will view this interview and they'll soak in the knowledge of it, and it would expand their knowledge and perception of, you know, the Jewish people or the Israelis, however we want to address them. So yeah, this just to let everybody know, this platform, Nation 12 Talk, is to promote and to encourage our nation to get into the mentality of nation building. Follow it on hashtag Nation Building 12, hashtag Nation 12 Respect. And there's one more, hashtag Nation 12 Talk, obviously. There's another one, but I just can't. Hashtag Israelite Business. That's what these right here, these words on the back. That the top one, hashtag Israelite Business, hashtag Nation Building 12. So this is what this platform is about. I encourage our people to use it. Hit me up. You think of any matters that concern the nation as a whole, that you think that the nation needs to address, hit me up. This is what this platform is all about. So all I gotta say is Shalawam, Kwam Yasharahla, HalleluYAH, and we out. If the brothers don't have anything else to say, speak on it. All right. So everybody, just hang on. I'm just gonna end the recording, and that's it. But stay right here.